Hello, this is Mark Sabatella from Outside Shore Music. In this video, I want to talk about the pentatonic scale. Not really so much the scale itself. I want to talk about some advantages it has, or at least is often perceived to have, in the teaching of music compared to the major scale. So I want to talk about why this is a thing and maybe what we can learn from this. So first, let's start with the major scale. If I play a major scale, there's a mixture of whole steps and half steps, but there's more whole steps and half steps, right? From C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, from F to G is a whole step, G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step. There's a lot of whole steps in there. The half steps are only found between E and F, and then between B and C. So between scale degrees 3 and 4, and then 7 back up to 1. There has been a perception that half steps might be harder for people, especially young children, to learn to sing. So that if we are trying to teach singing from written music, that singing whole steps is perceived to be easier. And so if we use melodies that are exclusively made of whole steps, they might be easier to sing. So that is one reason why the pentatonic scale is used a lot in the teaching of music, especially in sight singing. It eliminates the half steps. It eliminates the F. So first of all, what is the pentatonic scale? Well, it's the thing that we get if we eliminate the F and the B. C, D, E, and then I skip over to G, G, A, and then I skip the B, skipping up to C. So I've eliminated the F and the B. Now, so this scale now has only whole steps. It has this skip in it, but maybe that skip is perceived to be easier to sing. And then it has another skip here, but again, maybe that is perceived to be not as difficult as the half steps. I don't know that that's true, but this it does often work. There are a lot of simple type, folk type melodies that really do come from primarily that pentatonic scale. You might be wondering, well, why did we blame the F? Why did we blame the B, right? There's a half step between E and F. Why not eliminate the E and keep the F? That's a valid question. Or why not eliminate the B and why did we eliminate the B and keep the C? Why not eliminate the C to get rid of the half step? Well, that's maybe a little easier to answer. We don't eliminate the C because, hey, that's the note the scale is built on. Of course we need to keep the C. So if we're going to eliminate a note to get rid of the half step, we eliminate the B. But between the E and the F, why do we choose to eliminate the F and keep the E? Well, I think the answer is that we really want to keep scale degrees 1, 3, and 5 because these are the so-called tonic triad. This is a C major chord. If we're going to have a song in the key of C major, probably we're going to want a C major triad to be harmonizing at least part of that song. So this allows us to have that. This scale gives us the C, the E, and the G, and it gives us the additional notes that provide whole steps, and it eliminates the half steps. Does this make it a better scale? Well, no. The major scale is a wonderful thing. Tons of fantastic music written with the major scale. However, for the interest of simplicity in the teaching of sight singing and some other things that are taught, especially to young children, the pentatonic scale might provide a somewhat safer starting point, and that is one reason why it is often found in, especially like the musical instruments, the mallet instruments that are used in elementary schools are often tuned to pentatonic scales, as are other instruments. It just has certain simplistic qualities that make it maybe a little easier to deal with in teaching music at first than the major scale, and then we move on to the rest of the major scale.